Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Katarina. I'm so excited about today's video because I will be creating a build your own palette. It has been a while since I have done one of these videos. I think the last one was back in December or late November last year. I absolutely do love watching build your own palette videos and I do love doing them myself, but earlier this year I was really overwhelmed with all of my eyeshadow project pans that I just didn't really have time for this series, but now I'm back with it. I'm going to make this kind of like summer switching into fall palette, so for the most part it's going to be warm neutrals, but there is going to be some pops of color, so some brighter colors and also some berry tones I want to have in my palette. So whenever I feel sick of the colorful eyeshadows, I will switch it up. This past summer, because I have not been wearing makeup to work, I have not really played with my colorful eyeshadows and I really want to do that in August. So that is kind of like going to be the main priority with my palette, but I also do want to have some neutrals to go with it, and I want to make sure that the shades that I pick go with the shades that I am panning in my palette and pan those eyeshadows. I do have this Tarte palette where I will build my palette, so I absolutely do love this. I think this is great quality. I don't know if Tarte has it available anymore, but it's really sturdy and it has a huge mirror. And I do like the size of this. This one is not one of those small palettes, but it's not too large either, so it's perfect for something like this, in my opinion. I do have here a couple of highlighters that are depotted. They are going to stay here, other than that I'm going to fill this palette with eyeshadows. So I have my eyeshadows at the moment stored in these two palettes. I put all of them here for the sake of taking pictures to my makeup inventory video, which was probably closer to a month ago, and they are still here. So this is a double-sided C palette. Over here I do have all of my round pan eyeshadows. On this side all of the matte ones, which is not too many. But then on the other side I do have all of the shimmery ones, and this side is overflowing. Then I do have the extra large C palette, and over here I do have all of these square and rectangular eyeshadow pans. And I will say the majority of my singles are depotted eyeshadows. There are some that are from Makeup Geek, and now I have purchased a couple from Napla and a couple from Inglot, but majority is depotted from old palettes. So I thought, since we are starting to build your own palette with a completely fresh palette, minus the highlighters, that I would just pull whatever eyeshadows I am drawn from these palettes, and once I'm done I'm going to fill this palette in. If I cannot fit everything that I want to this palette, then I do need to think about the shade selection a little bit more. So let's start with the double-sided C palette with all of my round eyeshadows, and let's start with the mattes, because for me in every look the mattes are the base and I do need matte eyeshadows to create a look. So the four first eyeshadows over here are from the Colourpop I Think I Love You palette, and I think I'm going to, for now at least, pull the black, because that is something that I do use as a shadow liner and I have heat pan on it too. And then the other four that are these small pans are depotted from the BH Cosmetics Curly Bible Deluxe Edition palette. And for now I'm going to pull all of them, because they are something that eventually I would like to use up, especially the two brown ones. The mauve ones, I'm not sure. I mean, I would like to have eyeshadows in these kind of colors, but these pans are kind of annoying. I don't know if you can notice it, but when I depotted the palette, these pans kinda cracked, and a lot of the shades I actually had to repress, like a couple of these. Then I'm going to pull this eyeshadow too. It is the only eyeshadow I was able to salvage from my BH Cosmetics Modern Mattes palette that I tried to depot, but it was really difficult to do. This one I like to use as a brow powder. Then the two next eyeshadows, they are not quite the standard size eyeshadow pan, they are a little bit larger, which is maybe a little bit annoying, but these are from Nabla and these are new to my collection, and I actually do want to pull both of them for now. Then the two large pans are from Juvia's Place, the Douche eyeshadow palette. Those I don't need right now, there are other matte eyeshadows that I want to focus on rather than these. Alright, then let's go to the shimmery side. So yeah, I'm sorry this is not arranged the prettiest because this is so full and I have only hit pan on one of these eyeshadows, so I don't think I'm going to be finishing any of these anytime soon, sadly. So I absolutely do not want to get more shimmery round pan singles. Anyways, the two top rows here are smaller eyeshadows. So the first 8 of those are from the Colourpop I Think I Love You palette again. From those, for now, I'm only going to take this yellow gold because that one is in my Pantos eyeshadows. Maybe I will also take this rose gold, at least for now. I think it is a color that I would like to use. Then the 4 other smaller round pans are again from the BH Cosmetics Carly Bible Deluxe Edition palette. So from these, I want to pick this one. It is kind of like a bronze that has some oranginess to it. It is quite interesting shade. I think it's a great shade for summer and fall, but I have not worn it too much. Then I'm going to pull the pink because it's so summery and I have not worn it yet. The cooler toned pinky rose goldy shade I'm going to leave for now. For me this is a really wintry shade. And then the brown I'm going to leave. I kind of want to pull it, but then I'm also kind of focusing on the Too Faced chocolate bar and I know there are shades like that, so no, I'm going to pull it. We'll see if I can fit all of these eyeshadows to the Tarte palette. What comes to the standard size eyeshadow pans over here, the 5 first one in this row are depotted from the Balm Shady Lady Special Edition palette, I think it is called. And from these I don't think I want to pull anything right now. Then these two first one on the bottom row are from the Pacifica Solar palette, and I don't actually think I need these shades right now. Then the rest of the standard size eyeshadow pans are from Makeup Geek. From those I do want to pull at least the shade Jester. This one I actually almost decluttered, but I did change my mind after deciding to declutter an eyeshadow palette where I do have a similar color. So this is like an olive green. Then the shade Pegasus I also want to pull. It is a really summery shade and I have not used it yet this summer. Then I think I'm going to pull the two kind of like berry ones. So this is Curtain Call and this one is Anarchy. Then what comes to the larger pans over here. The first one is actually an Essence single. Not really into cool tones like this just at the moment. Then the mint green is from the Juvia's Place The Douche palette. Although I am right now feeling some colorful shades, I'm not really feeling this sort of pastel shade at all. So I'm not going to pull that. But the peachy one I'm actually going to pull. It is also a single. It's from a brand Floss. I got it from my Pitbox advent calendar. Alright, then last but not least, the double-sided C palette with all of my rectangular and square pan eyeshadows. So these ones, these two rows here, are either depotted from the Balm Meet Matte Nude or Meet Matte Tremoni eyeshadow palette. I actually don't think I need to pull any of these right now. Well, I almost want to pull the white, but I'm afraid I cannot really fit it into the palette anyways. And I do have a brow bone highlight shade in the chocolate bar that I can use, so I don't need it right now. So yeah, I'm going to leave these two rows alone. And also the Purples, I don't know, for some reason I'm not really feeling the Purples right now, so I'm going to leave them. But these two small rectangular eyeshadows I do want to pull. They are from the Balm Voyage 2 eyeshadow palette. So I have already hit pan on the bronzy one and eventually I would want to finish it. But the Balm eyeshadow formula is like one of the toughest to pan. It took forever for me to hit pan on this tiny eyeshadow and it is nowhere near gone, so it's going to take a while. Then these three eyeshadows over here are from Inglot and they are all new to my collection, so I do want to pull them so that they don't get neglected. If I cannot fit all of them, maybe I will leave one or two of them for fall, but for now I'm going to pull all of those. And then in the Tarte palette there is room on the very bottom row where I do have the highlighters for two clearly larger eyeshadow pans. So for that I want to pull a couple of these shades. So these are from the Jeffree Star Androgyny palette, and no, I don't support the brand anymore. The only products actually that I have from the brand left are these 5 depotted eyeshadows. So I do actually want to pull a couple of these. So the yellow, it's a really nice shade for summer and fall. And then the brown, so that I do have a proper deepening shade in my palette. And there's a huge portion of pan showing there, but it's mainly because the shadow cracked when I depotted the palette. Surprisingly, it was one of the toughest palettes to depot. Alright, so next I will be trying to arrange these shades into the Tarte palette. We'll see if I can fit all of them here. I might be. So I'm going to put some music on and I will be doing it, not talking. So when I'm ready, I will show you the end result and let you know if I was able to fit everything into this palette, and if not, what I decided to leave out. Okay, so I think I'm ready with the palette right now. The only shade I wasn't able to really fit here is this one. I actually think I would be able to stuff it if I just moved the eyeshadows around a little bit, but I don't want to necessarily, because this is not something that I absolutely need to have in the palette right now. The palette is pretty full, I will say. In case if I pull a single eyeshadow that is not in this palette to my Pantos Eyeshadows project, there are some options that I might pull out from here in that case. But for now I'm actually really happy with this. So on the two top rows I do have all of the smaller pan eyeshadows plus the one that I use on my brows. Then I do have the Makeup Geek singles over here, the new Inglot singles. Here I do have the Nabla singles and there the peach one from Floss, and then the Jeffree Star singles here. So yeah, I really do like this. I totally can see myself creating looks using just this palette, especially since I do have the highlighters here. I don't necessarily need to pull for another highlighter from another palette, but there is everything I really need to create an eye look here, from transition shades to deepening shades to lid shades. I do have pops of color. So yeah, I am really happy with the result. We'll see how long I will be having this palette. I think I will probably be switching the colorful shades out at least in the end of September, but for now I'm really excited to play with this palette. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please put thumbs up so I know that you want to see more of these videos. See you on my next one. Bye bye!